This is the gallery window. And one would not be able to look into the gallery and not see what's happening in there. So according to their distance to the light, obviously they would change the size quite a lot and get really enormous. And this was conceived so well, this project, that I thought it would be really nice to do it even more public, to make it even more public the next year. So the next Easter weekend, I installed the project. It was called Ostershining Mobile, obviously, and I installed it in a van. And the idea was that the van would, like a procession, move around and go to different places. So for this project, the film is projected onto a projection screen put in the back of the van, and we could drive around and open the door and then have power from some bars and then project it. So I was looking for, this is the center of Berlin, very, very center of Berlin. And it was fortunately, it was a very, very warm Easter, and people would walk around a lot. And I looked for 4 different sites. I wanted to use 4 different urban sites, so it would change its role of, the project would change with each site. So here we are. I won't explain the 4 sites, it's just showing that they are quite close together, and we could manage to move from one to the next. So this is the Good Friday location, where I parked the van very straightforward along other parking cars, and there's a huge amount of bars and restaurants, and a very, very diverse kind of people. There's a lot of tourists there, there's a lot of young people, there's prostitutes there, so it's quite a mixed scene. Now you've seen this this scene, which I call the Happy Rabbit scene, and Steve and I really wanted to show that project as part of the public art project, and some people thought it was maybe a bit not the right thing for young children to see, so we couldn't show it, which is very sad, because I think it would fit very nicely in the Easter period now. And well, German kids liked it a lot, as you can see. So the next position for the van was a tram. It was right next to a tram depot, a place where all the trams would park and move from there. And one would actually see it from quite far away. There wasn't very many people right next to the van. There's one bar. So all the tram drivers would actually almost hit the van when parking in the tram depot. can't hear you. Sorry.
What's the surface? If people were touching the surface, is it
Well, it's like a how do you call that stuff? You know.
plexiglass?
Yeah, plexiglass. And then I think it was sprayed, so you'd have a good projection quality. Yeah, people could. I mean, they knocked all the time, and they tried to look into the van. And I got some notes from some animal activists, obviously thinking there would be real rabbits in there, which I didn't. I thought it was obvious that this was a projection, but obviously, obviously it wasn't so obvious. So, so that the last. No, that's not the last. The third part was right outside a very nice theater in East Berlin. It's the most radical theater we have, and it was packed so that people leaving the theater after the show would sort of enter the next show with the rabbits. So the last station was Easter Sunday, parked in an entrance, just a straightforward entrance in a house, and it's a very, very tight site, so it was difficult to get in there, and it was a bit like a shop window. The idea was that it was a bit like a shop window, that people would pass by and looking into the shop windows and suddenly seeing this funny big screen there. So just quickly, three photographic works I've done where I also use the idea of implants here into the aerial view of the airport of Tempelhof in Berlin. I've implanted a field which one can't really find immediately, but one can find, and it's this round, the field with a round circle to the top left. So I work a lot with this idea of creating fields which I make in my studio with chalk and pigments, and then I make these fields, and then I find locations and I take photographs, and then I know, a bit like the videos, I know this field belongs to this photograph, so I implant the field into the photograph and make it look as if it has always been there, and try to put the traces of the photograph on top of the field. This is a view in Den Haag onto the beach. And another field I've done, which is a bit maybe related to some sort of soccer game, it's completely imaginative. There's no deep thought about it.